Hello everybody, I'm Pilar Archila with Pure Gold, and I'm here with the wonderful, great chef, James Barwick.
Thank you, Pilar.
And this gorgeous, gorgeous landscape belongs to him. He is the chef of Club 604, the best food in town.
Thank you.
And right here is where his secret is. Fresh herbs. Everything that he does is fresh.
I believe, first of all, that it should be from the garden to the table. And freshness is what it's all about. So
That's right.
I believe in growing my own herbs, or as many as possible. As you can see, I have many herbs that we'll be speaking of today. The different things that I have growing in the garden. How to take a small area of land and build your raised beds, put in a watering system that is automatic, that you can put on a timer to water your garden, so there's less work in the end.
Right. That's one of my problems, watering my plants and watering my herbs. I don't have much time to do that. But after visiting your home, being here, I'm just amazed, because I know you probably don't have time either to do that.
That is so true. I mean, with the hours that we all put in, I don't have a lot of time. But what I did initially is invested the time to put in a drip system that is on a timer, that it will water twice a day. And then you can set it for the length of time that you want. And then with each head that's in the garden, you can adjust it to how much flow of water that
Each
you want
plant
to
needs.
Exactly.
Because not all the plant needs
And
exactly the same.
Not only the beds, but also in each of the pots, as you will see, each pot has a little rubber tubing that goes up into it, and it has a head that can be adjusted, so that you can adjust each one to get the proper amount of water.
Now, I'm sure you had to do a lot of research to know how much water each plant needs.
It is, and I mean, a lot of it, again, is trial and error, but and it may have to be adjusted to the amount of heat that we have and how hot it is outside. You may have to come back and adjust and water for longer periods of time. As you know, last week we had a lot of rain, so I had to come back and adjust that.
Right, because we didn't need, extra water on top of water.
Right, that's correct.
I also noticed that you have chickens.
I do. One of the things, after living in New York City for 23 years, I wanted to have a piece of property where I could have a garden, grow my own herbs, my vegetables, and also have my own chickens. And so I did.
Fresh eggs.
Fresh eggs, that's what it's all about. Cooking with fresh eggs is amazing. People don't realize the shelf life of an egg. Actually, it is 5 months.
Oh.
Now, when you think about the grocery store, you probably wouldn't want to eat an egg that is 5 months old. But with fresh eggs, you can keep them out actually for a week before refrigeration if you're going to use them right away.
Yeah, I remember off camera we talk about desserts that you do that requires actually for the eggs to be fresh and out of the shelf.
Right. If you know much about European countries, they do not refrigerate their eggs.
Right. In Colombia, we don't either.
And to make a fresh lemon curd and a fresh pound cake and stuff like that, if you leave the egg out at room temperature for 3 to 4 days, it makes a much better product in the end.
You got great tips here.
What I would like to do today is go around the garden and show you a few of the things that I have growing here. And then later in this segment, what I would like to do is take some of the fresh herbs, because I believe that with cooking, it's all about the freshness.
Yes.
Your food doesn't have to be boring. Just by using fresh herbs, you can turn a plain, boring piece of chicken into something wonderful. So that's what I want to talk to you about today, and then later in this segment, show you how to prepare some of this. The other thing is herbs are very, very easy to grow. Some people feel intimidated by them. By growing them, also by how to use them. And this is what this segment is all about, is how to use fresh herbs and bring freshness in, and eating as natural and healthy as possible.
One of the things that I have mentioned several times in different shows is having herbs and a garden. When you have deer and you have squirrels and when you have all kinds, even rabbits, they destroy that. But I see here, everything is just wonderful, beautiful, and intact.
Well, my secret to that is, as you can see the bed here, I actually have a couple of the beds is fresh French lavender. And I believe in growing lavender in the garden because it will help to keep deer out, squirrels, rabbits, and things like that. It is a repellent to animals. They do it a lot up north because there is actually a lot more deer up north than they are here. But I noticed that it works, and also it's great when the lavender buds and flowers, as I take and I pick those flowers and I dry them. I use them and make a wonderful lavender shortbread cookie with it.
Oh.
But also, you can take the lavender buds and make wonderful Christmas gifts. Do little sachet bags to give to your friends and stuff like that.
So several uses.
There's several uses, and that's one of the things that we want to cover today is with the herbs, how to plant them in a way. Some are in the ground, as you will see. Some are worked into the landscape by pots. And to keep herbs going throughout the winter months, I then take those pots and move them into my greenhouse. Over here, what we have is spearmint.
Right.
And I use that a lot. And actually, I'm doing a wonderful tasting menu coming up at 6:04 on the 12th of June, where it calls for a lot of mint and Moroccan dishes.
I see that you have like two different kinds of mints.
Right. There's a peppermint and then a spearmint. And they actually have completely different flavors.
Uh-huh.
It's just a preference as to which you like. But I always keep mint around. And also, very soothing is a nice cup
for
of...
mojitos.
Well, mojitos is great. But also to do a nice mint tea.
Yes, and this is one of the plants that is very hard to kill. They keep coming back and
they do,
everywhere.
and that's why, if you notice, I do have them in a bed to keep them confined to that bed.
Yes.
So, then going into here, we have fresh rosemary. Rosemary is a plant that comes back every year. I just trim it back, and actually, you
it's
can
like
see the new growth.
evergreen. I mean, it's there,
and it's beautiful. And there's nothing better than to take sprigs of it and the wonderful aroma. This I use a lot with oven roasted potatoes, marinating chicken and different beef and stuff like that. It makes wonderful.
it's delicious.
And also I use it with grilled vegetables. To take and chop a little bit of this and some fresh thyme and marinate my vegetables and grill that. Here we have in the pot is some fresh thyme. We have fresh parsley, some more rosemary, and then our sage. Most people feel very intimidated with sage. I love sage. I have a golden sage here and a regular sage here. And
I have to admit to you, I have never used sage in my dishes. I don't even know how to.
One of the greatest ways, well, you think of sage at Thanksgiving when you're making stuffing and dressings and things like this, but actually to take these sage leaves and you take this and you put it in a pan with some olive oil and butter, and you cook it until it just begins to brown lightly. And it's called a burnt sage butter. It is
Really?
absolutely divine over pasta.
Oh.
Most people would not think of this, but it is truly a wonderful, wonderful herb to use. Here we have some regular thyme. We have Italian oregano and then Greek oregano.
Mm-hmm.
And then on over to this side, I have some cilantro.
Mm-hmm.
I have more rosemary, chives, and then I have a curly green parsley that I use as well. These herbs are great to use in dishes, and I will show you how to harvest and to use some of these herbs in some of the dishes that we'll be doing later in this segment.
So if in the summertime, I can see this is just great. In the winter, it's probably not, but you have saved some, and for the winter months.
Right. I will show you also later how to harvest them and to dry them for the winter months, but also you can take the smaller pots into the greenhouse or inside and keep them going
to have
the
freshness.
Yes.
Okay.
And to me, with cooking, it is all about freshness.
Yes, I know that. That's why I love to go to Club 604 and eat.
Well, thank you. It has really been a pleasure to come back home and to share my love and my passion of food with other people.
Well, it shows.
Well,
it
thank
really
you.
shows. So, what do we have here? Just regular peppers?
The first ones here are actually it's a purple pepper,
Oh, look at that.
and then I have red peppers and some orange peppers and yellow peppers, and then I get into the habaneros and jalapenos, serranos, the Thai chili peppers, the banana peppers. I think I have about 54 pepper plants at the moment.
Wow.
So
Now, with this particular one, the purple one, what kind of dishes do you make?
well, you could use the purple pepper any place that you would use a red, yellow, green,
Okay.
or orange pepper. It's basically your purple. It's a regular bell pepper, but it's a purple in color. You could use it in a variety of different dishes. I didn't mention before, but in the middle here I have the sweet basil plant. And with the basil, there's many things that you can do with it. You can use it in pasta dishes. You can also harvest it, which, as you can see in the top here, some of them are beginning to flower.
The flower. We talk about that.
Right.
I always thought that was the end of it.
No, that is actually the beginning of it, because what you do is you just come in and you pinch out the top of it. And that
From
plant,
there is gonna
it will flower out more. It will
Get
spread bigger
bigger.
and get thicker. Later today, what I'll do is when we come back, we will harvest some of this basil, and I will show you how to make a pesto.
Oh.
And these are things that you can take and you can make pestos, freeze it into small ice cube trays, and use it throughout the winter months.
There is soups,
So that you have-
minestrone soups, and
Exactly.
Oh wow!
And that's the thing is you take when your garden is in full bloom, and you take those ingredients and you preserve them in a way that you can use them in the winter months.
All year long.
So this is one of the things that I'll be showing you how to do.
How long an not ice cube, but ice pesto cubes would last in your freezer?
Well, the thing is the secret is keeping all of the air out of the bags. I have one of the machines that is called a food saver that will remove all of the air. And you can keep it for months this way.
All right.
And then just take out a cube as you need it, throw it into a soup, take it and thaw it, and you have your pesto for a wonderful pasta dish.
And it's not very difficult to make?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
Things are very simple. People seem to complicate it more than it should be.
Yeah.
So,
Sometimes we do that.
as you can see here behind us, I have several tomato plants. I have different kinds. I have the better boy, the big boy, the grape tomatoes. I have cherry tomatoes. And my favorite of all is the heirloom tomatoes. Occasionally at 604, what I will do is I will make fresh mozzarella.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing better than fresh mozzarella with fresh heirloom tomatoes and a chiffonade of fresh basil.
Yes.
That's correct.
That's delicious.
So, and I know that many people have requested, and it will be coming up, is some fresh burrata.
Oh, wow.
So now that spring and summer is here, I will be taking more and more stuff from the garden and using it and having fresher items in the restaurant.
Yes. Oh, that is wonderful.
The joy of this gardening, to me, it's therapy, but is this total drip system, because I'm one, if I had to come out and water it every day, I don't have the patience.
Wow, that's also therapy. I spend like an hour or two watering my plants, and it's therapy.
Well, it is. Well, true, but for me, to have it on a drip system and a watering
at least
system,
to know that it's always
then
water.
I can take and spend my time deheading the roses and the flowers.
That's right. And cooking delicious food.
And cooking delicious food for people like you.
Here we have gorgeous squash plants.
Yes. As you can see here, I have the crew neck yellow squash, and then I have the zucchinis here. And to me, there's nothing finer or better than taking the squash and chopping a little bit of fresh thyme, a little bit of rosemary, sprinkling it on the squash, and then grilling it on the grill. It's a wonderful vegetable.
Your grilled asparagus are just out of this world.
And and
so the squash is probably
the squash are just as good. The thing is, and what I want to teach people is that you don't have to overcook and cook your vegetables to death and cook the nutrients out of it.
Yeah, you'll kill them. Yeah, exactly, the nutrients.
You can just take simple fresh herbs and grill a vegetable and have it taste absolutely wonderful.
Right.
And it's without overcooking it, without cooking all the nutrients out of it. And this is what I am trying to bring to the table, is how to take fresh ingredients and make a wonderful, simple, but yet healthy meal from it.
Exactly. That's the word, healthy.
As you can see behind us here, I have cucumbers.
Uh-huh.
I love cucumbers. I love to make them in salads and different types of salads. But also, what I do is I pickle a lot of cucumbers. I make bread and butter pickles. Actually, to take make bread and butter pickles, but also add some banana peppers, shaved banana peppers, and jalapenos and stuff like that, and add to that, just brings out the flavor that much more. Later in another segment, I want to teach people how to make chutneys. Mm-hmm. There's so many wonderful things that you can do with stuff within your garden, and it doesn't have to be plain and simple. I mean, you can just add a couple of more ingredients that you would never think of and change it into something completely different.
Completely wonderful. I see this plant here, and to me, it looks like a basil, but it's purple.
Yes, this is a purple basil. You can use it just like
the basil.
The regular sweet basil. It has a wonderful, wonderful smell.
Yeah, just basil.
It's great to do a chiffonade of it and put it into pastas. You could use
Just
it
different
in the
color.
same way. Exactly.
The same way you use the basil.
Yes.
God, I love basil.
Yeah, the
Basil and
smell of it,
tomatoes.
yes, yes. It's absolutely wonderful. Here what we have is chives.
Uh-huh.
Just to take a little bit of this, you can mix it into different pastas. You can mix it as a garnish, just to give a little bit of a slight onion flavor.
Mm-hmm.
But yet you can change a dish and make it wonderful. I love to take it and do what's called make a chive oil with it, and I use it to garnish. And when I'm doing a fish, when I want a little bit of a
The onion flavor, but not strong
Exactly.
onion flavor.
So I make a chive oil and I drizzle it over fish. It is absolutely wonderful.
Yes. We're saying hello to your chickens.
Yes, in the morning there's nothing like coming out and gathering the fresh eggs. One of the things I wanted to do when I moved back to Georgia is I knew I wanted a chicken coop and to have chickens. And so I came up with this design. It's a wonderful design for our chicken coop. Most of the people around here call it my uptown chicken coop, which is absolutely fine. But the chickens are happy. As you can see, they have great room to run around.
I have a question for you. Do you have a rooster in there?
At the moment, I don't.
So do they hatch eggs without a rooster, or how that goes?
They lay eggs, but again, the eggs are not fertile. If I wanted to have fertile eggs, naturally I would bring in a rooster. And I'm ashamed to say this, but I've had 3 roosters, but the hens actually killed the roosters.
You have mean hens.
Well, they are.
They're happy.
They're
without
demanding.
them.
They're demanding. They're demanding. What I would like to do is show you the way I had this chicken coop built. Is I do go inside and put feed in. Usually that will last about 4 days, and then I refill it. It has an automatic waterer. But as far as gathering the eggs, I never have to go inside. I have it built in a way that I just reach in from the back and gather the eggs. And I will show you that. And the beauty of getting fresh eggs every day and knowing that your chickens have not been given a lot of hormones and stuff like that.
Yes.
And
very,
also,
very healthy. Now, in the winter, do they stay here?
They stay here. They still come out.
Really?
Yes. It's no problem.
You don't need to heat this at all or do anything?
If it gets real cold, I will put a heat lamp inside in the roosting area, but on the most part,
yeah.
no.
Oh. Well, I'm very excited to see.
This I had built in a way where I can just reach in and gather the eggs. As you can see, they were happy and gave us
Why
quite a
do
few
you
this
have
morning. A golf ball in there?
Yes.
Because it tricks them into laying eggs.
So they don't lay eggs anywhere else but here?
That's correct. They lay eggs only in here. And it's I keep the golf balls in there so to trick them into laying eggs. Oh. And as you can see this morning, we've got a good little harvest of eggs.
Yeah. How often do they lay eggs?
According to the hen, some lays better than others. Right now I have 10 hens, and I average anywhere from, on a good day, 8 to 9 eggs. On
so
an average
this is
day,
daily?
Yes.
I noticed that where the places that you don't have golf balls, you didn't have eggs.
Yes.
Oh.
I actually need to get a few more in that.
To get more eggs.
But I had this built in a way so all their backup food is stored down below here, and it's a great chicken coop, and I've been very happy and pleased with it. And of course, as you can see, the chickens seem very happy.
They're very happy,
Yes.
and they're brown eggs.
Yes, I actually delivered some to a friend of mine yesterday that she said she had never had any farm-raised eggs.
I never had
So,
that either. Well,
but
I'm a
I'm
city
hoping-
girl, so to
Well-
me, all of this is just amazing.
Well, actually, if you crack open a store-bought egg and one of these, you would see that the yolks on these are much more golden.
Right.
And the taste, if you tasted them side by side, you would see that
The difference.
the difference in the egg.
Yeah, like, I don't know, in Colombia, when you open the eggs, they're like bright orange, the
Yes.
yolk.
Yes, these are
And
very
they-
golden. Very
Okay,
golden.
and they're raised just like this. I mean, without any extra stuff, you
Right.
know.
You know, and that's the way it should be. I think that one of the I grew up in the country here. I grew up in Adrian, but and we didn't have a lot growing up, but we enjoyed the country life, and we after going off to New York and seeing how people eat, and you would be surprised at the number of people in New York that believe they go to the farmers market. We have a farmers market there, and you wouldn't think that in New York City, but we have the farmers market where you can go to every day and get fresh produce, fresh eggs, fresh milk, and that's what it should
And I'm sure it's
Really.
very popular.
be all about, is eating as healthy as possible. We have gotten so used to, and not to put down fast food, but just running through the drive-through and grabbing something. And
Always in a
eating.
hurry.
Always in a hurry.
Always in a hurry.
But there's things that are simple to make, but yes, fresh, that we could do in a small amount of time. And that's what I want these segments to be all about, is freshness.
Freshness. Amen.
Yes.
Yeah, I even noticed that you have strawberries.
Yes. Yes.
Talking about freshness.
Yes, I grow strawberries, and as you can see, with my landscape, I love my flowers. It's my therapy. I have a greenhouse on the far end of the property
Yes.
that we will show sometime, and in the winter months, this is where I keep all of my herbs and stuff like that. So it's wonderful to have that. That was actually the first day that I bought the property. There was a tree located where the greenhouse is, and I had the tree cut down, and the very next week they started on the greenhouse.
Yes.
So
You knew what you wanted when
I
you
knew what I
moved it.
wanted, and I just want to help people and teach people that you can take the basics and turn
Go
it into
back
something.
to go
Yes.
back to that. Yes.
And eat healthy, eat fresh. And one of the things, when I went to work at 604, I told them the only way that I would take the job is if I was allowed to use total freshness.
Well,
And to me, that's what it's all about.
it's working.
So,
Yes. All right. Well,
thank you so much for coming out today.
well, no, thank you for showing us your fresh herbs and your garden and the marvelous things that you're doing here, including your chickens.
Well,
So now we need to see how we can connect this freshness with food, you
yes.
know, with
As
recipes.
we when we come back, I will be showing you how to take some of these fresh herbs and
To the
put them
table.
to use.
Yes.
Yes. I
Wonderful.
look forward to it.
Listen, James, this is wonderful being here with you.
Thank you. My pleasure to have you.
Okay. And keep watching. Thanks.
Thank you.
boca